Good day. Welcome to the February 8th, 2014 meeting of the Budget Committee. Our first order on the agenda is the call to order and the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As customary with all the Budget Committee meetings, we have public input. Are there any members of the public that would like to address the Budget Committee?
I've already said my piece.
Okay. Hearing none. Review any additions to the agenda? Reports. School business?
We just completed our deliberative. Other than that, good to go.
Okay. So we have final voting for the schools.
Mr. Chairman, in view of the changes made to the deliberative session in the operating budget, I'd like to move that we reconsider the vote, so at least I can go on record with my vote.
Okay, so you'd like to reopen the operating budget to revote that?
Yeah, I'm not sure I want to revote the dollar amount itself as much as to revote. I guess you have. Yes, I would like to.
Okay. We have a motion?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion? You just want to?
Yeah, I just want to go on record that I don't support, even though the committee may support the operating budget, I don't support it as changed, and that's the only reason I want to do that.
And just like last week when we reopened and to get an actual record, it's probably important to keep to the same way that when Mr. York recommended that we reopen last week.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor of reopening the Article 1, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
All right.
Okay, we have Article 1 reopened. Bill?
Okay, I would just like to take a revote on the number. I don't even know what the new number is right now, but
The number is amended.
It was 40-something thousand, but I don't have the exact number
Yeah,
either.
I think it's 20. Yeah, I don't have it.
yeah.
20,974,688.57.
Yeah, what kind of motion do we need? Do we need a motion on that
Motion to
number, or
recommend or not recommend?
say something?
A motion to recommend, or not, whatever.
Okay, I move we recommend the new number as amended at the deliberative session.
You could motion to recommend or not recommend the amount of operating budget amended at deliberative.
Yes.
Okay, second.
Okay.
So we have a motion to not recommend the amount as amended at deliberative. Right? Is that
No, the motion is to
Recommend.
recommend.
okay? And then, yeah, that'll capture the votes. That's good. Further discussion on the motion?
I just think it's, I made my vote clear when they amended it, and I spoke to it, and it was, I would have preferred it didn't happen, but that is the process. Any amount could be added at the end, but we had a lot of discussion and debate on that, and I would have liked to see it the way it was.
Just to recap, the changes were, there was a dollar added, which is basically symbolic to bring back the adult education, which is essentially self-funding. The other change was the transportation increase, which is represents the actual, or closer to the actual estimated increase in busing. It was promised to us at the time that should it be different once we got to deliberative session, they would either reduce it if they found that it was going to be lower, or increase it if they found it was going to be higher. So this is following through on what they promised us they would bring forward.
Well, I don't agree with that exactly, because we're still working on speculation.
We're not working on speculation anymore.
They-
You guys are saying you're working on speculation, and I'm telling you, you're not.
Well, then why isn't?
25% number and the number that's brought forward is probably going to be very close to what the contract number will be when the i's are dotted and the t's are crossed.
If you're so positive, why isn't it in the default budget?
Because the i's and the t's aren't dotted and
Okay.
crossed, and we can't do that.
Okay.
And our default budget can't be changed.
Yeah, the default budget is based on contractual amounts, so there's no contract, so they can't put it in the default.
Well, we've seen, yes, I agree with you.
If you wish, we'll do that and do
Jo-
that battle, but there's no need to, Bill.
John, I voted in favor of adding that to the
you
transportation
did.
budget. I believe you could have absorbed it in the operating budget as proposed, and that's why I don't like it.
And Dr. Cochran did, I mean, say that if it came down to it, it could be absorbed.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, John, I still see, to be honest with you, if the school board sits there and takes a 25% increase without doing something, that's,
Well, we have done something, and we're telling you that that is where we believe the price is going to be,
And I agree with you.
okay? So you have to stop saying we haven't done anything, right? We have, and we are very close with the numbers. We're doing our process that we have to go through on that, so we can't tell you we have a signed contract on that, but we're pretty close to where we need to be. I think the town of Nashua is probably much more angst about the fact that somebody decided to open up a bill and open up a $1.2 million increase for themselves. But the fact of the matter is Litchfield is tied to the bus contract out of Nashua. And we believe in the conversation that the SAU staff has had and the school board's been informed on, that the number that was brought forth by Dennis today to be very, very accurate. It came from the business manager based on conversations that he's had with the bus company. Looks like it's going to get the contract, and it's all moving pieces that are going to fall into place as dominoes fall. So the dominoes are going to fall. We're going to come back to you after the March election in your first meeting, and we're going to say, this is a number, and you're going to go, wow, that was pretty close. So that's pretty the reality of the process. Anything other than that is not factual.
Guarantee you, I won't say, wow, that was pretty close.
Whatever.
okay, any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor of recommending 20,974,688.57 as the Article 1 operating budget, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Aye.
So it's not to recommend,
Three.
so not to recommend,
Do a tie vote.
You do a tie vote,
right.
just
Yeah.
like the other one. Yeah.
Any other school business? Yes. John, any town business?
The town has not met since our deliberative last weekend. The only thing to note is there was an unfortunate article that was published in the HLN, went live electronically on Thursday, in your mailboxes on Friday, where they grossly estimated the total impact of the town taxes based on all the warrants and budgets passing. There are corrections out there now. There is a correction being posted on the next following week's paper in the front page supposedly, and we're doing our best to kind of make sure people have the right numbers. As you saw in the presentation today, the school helped us with that too, so.
John, just for the record, would you like to correct that so that we know what it?
Yeah, so, based on all town warrants passing in the operating budget from that last meeting, the total impact, the increase over what your bill was last year is 37 cents on 1,000. So for the average $300,000 home, that's $111 more a year on your town tax. So, again, on the town website, we published it on the social sites, we've got it out there as best we can. The paper has committed to help us make sure the right message gets out there. I don't know if there'll be more than just the retraction next week, but we're working with them to make sure the right information gets out, so.
You know, just a comment, John, for a reporter to report on the deliberative session, quote unquote, that was presenting a tax increase of that much, and yet have no discussion at the deliberative session, it should have turned a light bulb on somewhere or other and
Right.
said, hey, there's something wrong here, and I gotta check the numbers out. It was terrible reporting.
You would have thought they would have picked the phone up and called the office and said, did I hear the right thing?
Terrible.
Was this the right number? That's a significant increase over what you had last year. Matter of fact, every paper in this region will be carrying it. I mean, yeah, the reporter made an error. It's an error. And I do believe they'll do what they can to help us make sure the right message gets
But,
out
you know,
there.
And they printed it in color, so it
Yeah, I know.
cost them big money.
Now, moving forward.
but,
every-
excuse me, I mean, but, you know, the school did the right thing, and they showed the incremental increase. And, you know, the town should have done the same thing. They really should.
Yeah, we presented what's going to be on the warrant, and I think we've got to look at that going forward, but.
Yeah, I'm
We
sure-
haven't had this error in the past, though.
Yeah.
We've done the same thing
Yep,
in the past,
yep.
and so.
No, well, we
Yeah,
didn't do
we-
it last year because of the law.
But we've always had in our presentation the numbers.
Yeah.
And so the presentation style was the same. Again,
Yeah.
me
done
as
deal.
looking at it going, that's a significant increase, I think I would have asked questions, but it was an error, so.
There was reporters that's gonna report on it today in next week's paper. I mean, I'm sure the.
That was a union leader
That was-
report.
That was
Yeah,
union
okay,
leader.
so it's not
There was
union
no
paper.
reporters, there were no
They weren't
Union
reporters.
leader, that was union leader.
Oh, okay.
Just so it's clear, as far as I know, there were actually no reporters in the audience last
So he
week.
did it from the website.
We've had several reporters call, and we've given them the link to the video, and they've sat and watched the video.
Okay, so maybe is it worth it to make a phone call and say, just before you print next week, based upon the school deliberative, you have any questions?
Probably.
Yeah,
Well, I
probably.
imagine there'll be a conversation.
Okay.
Or invite
Well, I put it this way, they've already had the conversations, because I think the phone between the HLN and the SAU is running pretty hot Thursday and
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they were on it like 7 o'clock Thursday morning, because we got an email at the school board like by 8:30. Wait till you see this, and by that time, the retractions had already,
Yeah, they
started
quickly,
the
I mean, they
process.
quickly updated the online
they-
article right
yeah.
away, but unfortunately, it was already went to
Sorta helped
print.
the process, but.
No, not at
Yeah,
all.
I think the online article probably didn't do anywhere near as much damage as the one that landed on everybody's kitchen counter for Friday night.
Well, if they send out another one next Friday, and that should solve the problem, as long as it's front page and.
Yeah, and the town's also trying to do as much advertising or, publicly getting things out there about the budget, because there's a lot of things in the budget. There's a lot of warrant articles that need to be supported, and so we're trying to do what we can. But people have to read it, and we have to get to the people, so.
Okay.
So that's it for the town.
Anything else for the town?
No?
Well, it brings us to our second public input of our meeting. Anybody?
I do think it's unfortunate that, Carrie Douglas on Pleasant Street, I do think it's unfortunate how, it went out. But, like you said, just like you were talking to people. Unfortunately, the damage is done, and
Mhm.
we'll have to see what voter turnout looks like on election day to see how well that, the damage control has been.
I have a funny feeling it's gonna help drive it.
But I would encourage the
Hopefully,
town to
yeah.
reconsider how they put their tax impact on the warrant articles, because I think that's what helped cause that problem.
Well, next meeting, we haven't set a date yet for our next meeting. And,
Question, how is our revote going to get to the school board, town moderator? I mean, we had the same situation last week where we changed our vote. and-
I will, as soon as I leave this room and I have email, I will send an email off to Andrew and ask him to forward that vote to the school and Dr. Cochran.
Well, I'll be informing them, because we're going into a meeting
Yeah.
in just a minute, so. It's actually
Just to
needs
know what the formal
Actually, needs to
process
get to the moderator and the town clerk, not the school board, or the SAU, because it really doesn't, it's not our impact, it's the town, it's the school clerk and town moderator who's in charge of the process now, so it
That's what
doesn't
I
have anything
thought,
to do with us.
Okay? Wonderful. Hearing no other business, I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
All right, see ya.
get there.
I wonder if it's.
Well, that's,
But it is,
I don't like it either.
they have every right.
Yeah.
but I just don't agree
Heber
with it.
here. Heber.
Thank you very much, Michelle, for everything this year.